To Pat Brown, criminal profiler, author of The Profiler. You know, the one thing I just can't get past, Pat, is this text message that she sent to her mother days before she went missing. Let's show everybody what it says. It says, quote, "In case there is ever an emergency with me, contact Blue Griffith in Vegas, my ex-boyfriend, not my best friend." We now know that charges were filed November 4th, felony charges against him. She sends this to her mother December 1st. What does it mean?
Well, I have to say one thing. First of all, I don't think Debbie was all that open with her family or her friends. She spoke in very veiled manners. And I think a lot of people minimized what was going on in her life, because I looked back on her Facebook for over a year, and I can tell you, she was very obsessed with Griffith. She had a lot of very sad, she did little sad faces all over and over and over again, peppered through the year. Sad face, sad face, sad face. And people would say, "What's wrong, Debbie? What's wrong?" And she would never really tell them, but she would always say things like, "Love really hurts, men lie," or she might say something to the effect of, one of the big ones she said was, that you have to go with your heart and not your head. So we can sort of see that this really was a troubled relationship that she was struggling with. So I'm thinking there's a lot more going on with Griffith than we've been led to believe.
And what you're doing, Pat, is exactly what the CSI Vegas is doing right now in this criminal investigation. We want to tell everybody that he is not a suspect. Police are saying that he is cooperating. She did have concerns about fans that were obsessive. This is an open-end missing persons case, and we need to find her, and we need to find her alive. Pat Brown, criminal profiler, how do you define that? How do we interpret it?
Well, I think that is a very good way to interpret it. And I want to point out how a person of interest is focused upon. We look at their behaviors in the past. We look at their opportunities that they have and their motive. And we have a guy here who has had this somewhat difficult relationship with the victim, possible victim, and then we see all this stuff happening right before where he says, "I don't want to go to jail, I don't want to go to jail." So we have a guy here, the motive is out there, and he has the opportunity because he's the last person to be seen with her. Doesn't make him the guy who did it, but that is why they focus on it. But they also have to be careful. Just sometimes that can look like the person, but it could just happen to be something completely different, like a carjacking. I mean, so you cannot over-focus, but you obviously have to follow all your leads.
And Blue Griffith is not a suspect in the disappearance of Debbie Florez, although he has been charged with domestic violence. Coercion is the actual felony charge, facing 8 years in prison.